Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Self-Determination Conference. We are all excited that you are here, and thank you for attending our presentation today. So before we get into it, a little bit about us and our organization. So we are with Lakeland Care. Lakeland Care is one of the managed care organizations, or MCOs, in the state of Wisconsin. We provide the family care services for adults with intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, and the frail and elderly. We are proud to continue to be a local nonprofit organization, and we are currently located in 22 counties, mostly northeastern Wisconsin, but we are very excited to say that we will now be one of the MCOs providing family care services in Dane County and surrounding counties starting January of next year. So, to introduce ourselves, my name is Jamie Champagne. I am the Self-Determination Supervisor at Lakeland Care. I have been with Lakeland Care for 9 years, and when we talk about our strengths, I lead with strategic thinking.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Andrea Pandota. I work from Lakeland Care, and I am a self-directed support specialist. I've been with Lakeland now 9 years, and for my strengths, I lead with relationship building.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dana Glinsky. I am also one of the self-directed supports specialists with Lakeland Care. I have been with Lakeland for 4 years now, and when we talk about our strengths, I lead with executing.
Good morning. My name is Sam Pamprin. I am an employee experience partner at Lakeland Care, but I am also Lakeland Certified Gallup Strength Coach. So what we're going to be talking about today is kind of the world I live in every day, and I lead with relationship building.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie Birmingham, and I'm a Lakeland participant, and I lead with relationship building. More to come on that later.
So at Lakeland Care, our mission is empowering individuals, strengthening communities, and inspiring futures. We are a mission-driven and strengths-based organization. So what does it mean to be strengths-based? That means that we focus on the positives and we look at building our strengths, not necessarily fixing our weaknesses. And that's very important as we begin this conversation today. Knowing and understanding your strengths helps you lead a self-determined life. So living your best life using your strengths. Our organization has 3 values. They are kindness, inclusion, and trust. So with kindness, we believe that kindness is always possible and no compassionate act is ever wasted. With inclusion, what that means to us is not only do we want you to have a seat at the table, but we want to hear from you at that table. And trust. We believe that honesty is in style and promises still have power. So it's the premise of a pinky promise. If I pinky promise something to you, we are going to hold on that promise and we are going to do it. So in the work that we do every day at Lakeland Care, our mission, vision, and values create a positive, lasting impact for our members and the communities that we serve. Our goal is to help the individuals, our members, that we serve live a self-determined life, to live independently, because we know how important it is to remain connected to our family, our friends, and our communities.
All right, so this breakout session, we're going to be a little interactive. So I'm going to make you guys do some things with me, okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I am going to ask you 5 different questions. When I ask you the question, I want you to raise your hand if you do these kind of things, okay? Just or make a noise, raise a hand, whatever one you want to do. The first question, if you're in an elevator, I should tell you, they're telling me. In your folder on the left-hand side, there is a document. It looks like what's up on the screen. It's called the talent lineup activity. So if you want to follow along, the questions are on there as well. First question. When you're in an elevator or an airplane or a grocery store, do you tend to talk to people wherever you go? I do that all the time. Yeah, awesome. You can put your hands down. Second question. When you think about your closet at home, is it color-coded? Do you have all the purples by each other, all the blacks by each other? That is definitely not me. Okay, so some of you do that. You do that too? Yeah. Third question. Do you write down everything that you want to do, even on the weekends? Do you make a list? Are you a list? Yeah, some of us are like, nope. Others are like, yeah, even on the weekends, we're writing down everything, right? Next question. Do you tend to ask too many questions? Yeah. Yeah. This is my favorite one. Do you press the button on the elevator to remind the elevator that you're there? Yes. You don't need to remind the elevator that you're there, do you? Nope, but you press it again anyways. Yeah, I do that one all the time. All right, so those are 5, just what you think might be kind of silly questions. But there's a reason we ask those questions. Those are things that you guys naturally do. Nobody taught you to press the button on the elevator, did they? No, no one taught you that you had to make a list on the weekends or that you had to color code your closet. It's part of who we are. It's part of our being. It is our natural way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. So when you guys looked around the room and you guys are like, yep, I talk to people all the time. And other people are like, I would never do that, right? It's who we are. We don't think about it. We just do it. That is what we're talking about today. Your strengths, your talents. Who are you in the core? That's why we talk about our strengths. There are natural powers. You can go to the next slide, Dina. So what is a talent? Lakeland is a strength-based organization. What we're talking about today is a talent. A talent is our superpowers. We all have superpowers, right? Yes. It's our natural way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. No one taught us these things. It's just what we do. I lead with something called relationship building. If I walk to a friend and they look sad, it makes sense for me to walk up and say, oh my gosh, are you okay? How can I help you? I don't think about that, I just do it because it's part of who I am. Other people might not do that, and that's okay. We don't need to be talented at everything. What we need to understand, what are we talented at? And then learn to use those things. I'm a relationship builder. I like people. People get me happy. So I surround myself with people because that's what I'm good at. I don't like numbers. I don't like math. I don't like data. I don't surround myself with that because I'm not very good at it. So I use my circle, my support group, to lean on people who are good at math and good at data because I'm not. Those beautiful girls over there, they are. So they're in my circle. They help me because I'm not naturally talented at it. I want to focus what I'm naturally talented at, and we want you guys to know what you're naturally talented at so that you can focus on it and use it, your superpower. Yeah. Next slide. Thank you. So what Gallup Strengths does, and in your folder, you will see this document as well. So on the left-hand side of your folder, you will see this document as well, maybe a little bit closer than what you can see up on the screen. Good morning. So this is the Gallup Strengths Assessment. What we are going to do here, across the top, you see those 4 different areas. In purple, you see the word executing. That's one category. The next category, you see the word influencing in orange. Second category. The third category, in blue, you see relationship building. And then the last category, in green, you see strategic thinking. So what we're going to do today is we're going to figure out, where do your talents fall? We talked earlier, we got some relationship builders here, we have strategic thinkers here, and we have an executor up here talking. But what's important is, where do you guys fall? So we're going to take time to figure out, what category are you in? What do you lead with? Now, this is a very high-level way to look at this report. This report is something that you can take outside of the conference, and it will unlock your top talents. We're not going to go that far today for the sake of time. We don't have a lot of time. So what we're going to do is find out what category you fall in. But if you want to take the report when you leave here, on the bottom of that screen, you'd see all those other words like achiever and activator and woo and empathy. If you took the report, those would be some of the words that would come out. But today, we're looking at the top categories. Do we fall in executing? Do we fall in influencing? Do we fall in relationship building? Or do we fall in strategic thinking? So we're going to take a look in our folder, and we're going to find that document, where do your talents fall? I'm going to ask you guys some questions. If you guys need help, if anyone needs help, these amazing ladies are going to be walking around the room. If you need help, just signal to them and they will come help you. But I'm going to ask you some questions. On the bottom of the sheet, you're going to circle if you do any of these things. So when I ask you the questions, circle the ones that you do, okay? When I'm asking you these questions, I want you to think about some things. Do you guys ever wonder why you make certain choices? Do you ever wonder why you're good at some things and maybe not so great at other things? Do you ever wonder why you like to do certain things and don't like other things? That's what these questions are going to answer for us. All right, give me a woohoo if everybody has the sheet. Woo! Okay, perfect. All right, so on the bottom of the sheet, the first one you're going to see is executing. We have 3 questions here. Circle it if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, you don't have to circle it. The first question, Are you the person in a group who tends to make things happen? If you tend to make things happen, circle that one. The next question. Do you often work hard to get a project done? Yeah. Last question in this section. Can you hear about an idea and then can you make it happen? That is not me, but maybe it's you. We're going to move on to the next section, which is influencing. First question. Are you able to make people agree with your ideas? If you have an idea, can you talk somebody into it? The next question. Do you tend to take charge in a group setting? Do you lead the group? And the last question in that section. Are you not afraid to speak up and make sure your group is heard? To make sure that everyone at your table has a voice? All right, the next group of questions is under relationship building. Do you tend to hold a group together? Are you the one that if your friends haven't seen each other, you guys call each other or text each other to make sure your friend group stays together? Do you tend to make relationships easy? That person you met in the elevator that you talked to, are they now your friend? Do you make relationships really easy? Are you meeting new friends today? And do people excite you? Do meeting new people, does that make you happy? All right, the last section in this strategic thinking. Do you tend to focus on what could be done? Do you like to look into the future? Are you the one in the group who tends to keep the group focused and on track? That is not me at all. But that's why I need these people in my life. They keep me on track. And the last question. Are you always taking in new information? Do you like to learn and bring information in? How we doing? Doing good? Yes? Good. Okay. Now what I want you to do is look at that sheet. Is there one section or one category that you circled the most in? If you tied and you circled maybe 3 in 2 different categories or 2 of them in 2 categories, pick which category you think fits you best. So I want you to come up with just one category, either the category that you circled the most in, or if you have a tie, which one you feel makes more sense to you. Yep, in this one. And I, like I said, am a relationship builder. I like people. You're going to either be an executing, influencing, relationship building, or strategic thinking. Did everyone figure out what category they're in? Yes? If not, we can come along and help. Now I want you to take a few minutes and talk to your team about it a little bit. Talk to your table. What are you guys? Let your team know at your table what you lead with. All right, we're going to bring it back in. Do you guys have people at your table that are the same? Yeah. Do you have people at your table that are different? Yeah. So what do these mean? If you lead with executing, show me your hand if you lead with executing. All right, look around the room. These are your executors. What does that mean? People who lead with executing tend to make things happen. They get it done. If we ask them to do something, they're going to do it. They look at timelines. They like to make plans. They look at and understand goals. They look at the tasks they need to get done in order to get a goal done. And they ask, how do we get this done? And then in the end, they get it done. I don't lead with executing, so sometimes I need executors to be like, Sam, we need to get this done, and they will push me to get it done. The next one, anyone lead with influencing? Put your hand up. Okay, yes. All right. The people who lead with influencing, they tend to take charge, speak up, and make sure that everybody is heard. They wonder, who else needs to know this information? They think of creative ways to get the information to everybody who needs to know it. They are really good storytellers. If you're good at influencing, do you like to tell stories? A lot of them do. They make sure that everyone knows the information who needs to know it. They make sure all the pieces of the puzzle understand it so we can get the job done. All right, next category. Relationship building. Show of hands if you lead with relationship building. Yeah, look around the room. Look at your relationship builders. Awesome, you can put your hands down. Thank you. In this category, you tend to build strong relationships and hold people together. You bring the right people to the table to make something successful. You're the glue that holds people together. Does that sound right? Yeah. You're compassionate. You're trustworthy. And you get to be your authentic self. You get to be who you are. And you love the people around you to be who they are. And people trust you. Does that sound right, relationship builders? Yeah. The last one is strategic thinking. Show of hands if you're a strategic thinker. Yeah, I need you people in my life. This one's hard for me. In this category, these people tend to consider what could be. How can I make this happen? They like to look into the future. They ensure they ask all the right questions. If they're given a project or if they're given something to do, they make sure they ask all the right questions before they go do it. They make sure they have all the right information before they make a decision. So they like to research and collect data and information to make sure that they're making very smart decisions. They like it the best when they have time to process and understand all of the information. Did that make sense? Yeah, they need that time by themselves, maybe too, to soak in all the information. If you guys look in your folder, there are two other documents. One is called a strength development checklist, and one is called at your best document. We're not going to have time to do these today, but I want you to have them and take them home with you. The strength development checklist is a really good tool if you have a goal that you're trying to accomplish or something you're trying to get done. This document will help you use your talents, your natural ways of thinking, feeling, behaving to get that goal done. And the other document is called At Your Best. This is a document that we use at Lakeland Care with every new hire that comes into our organization. Some really good questions to understand how the people that you work with show up. When are they at their best? So they're really good questions to ask friends, families, co-workers to understand each other a little bit more. So those are some documents that you guys can take home with you and look at when the time is right for you. All right, I'm gonna give the mic over to Stephanie. Thank you. Got it, girl.
Thanks, Sam. Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear okay? Okay, all right. So I'm Stephanie. Introduced myself earlier. I am a participant in Lakeland Care, and I was asked to talk with you all a little bit about my results when I took the Clifton Strengths Finder assessment. So one of the things that I think is really unique about this assessment is when I took it in preparation for this presentation today, it was not the first time that I took it. And the reason I think that is important is because when I took it many years ago, probably over 8 or 10 years ago, I got very similar results. So that means the results that I got the first time are almost exactly the same as when I took it the second time. And the reason that is important is it helps me understand that my strengths and my talents have been fairly the same or consistent throughout my life, which helps us understand that they are the things, again, that come natural. And oftentimes, things that come natural to us tend to be the same over time. So, when I took the assessment and I got my results, I wasn't super shocked or surprised. In fact, as I was reading it, shaking my head going, yep, that sounds like me. So, as you can see up on the screen here, my top 5 strengths or talents are belief, positivity, developer, harmony, and empathy. So 4 of the 5, fall in the category of relationship building. And that is definitely me. I am all about people and relationships. So I'm going to unpack each one just a little bit. So my first number 1 strength or talent is belief. So what does that mean, belief? Well, for me, what it means is there are core values, which are things that I find really important, things that I believe in, that underpin or support the work that I do. That's not only in the work that I do professionally, but in what I do when I don't have my work hat on and I have my I'm just having fun hat. So I believe in volunteering, and that is something that is very important to me. And the beliefs that I have, the values in caring for others, being kind, supporting other people, shows up in both my job as a therapist, but also in the times that I volunteered working at homeless shelters and in my time working in a jail. I also, as someone who has very strong beliefs and values, tend to be very reflective about what I do. I typically don't make a decision just spur of the moment. I tend to give it a lot of thought and ask myself, does what I'm about to do match or align, meaning if we take these two things and we can overlap them together, does that align with what I say I believe? Does that align with who I say I am? And if it doesn't, then that means, maybe this isn't something I should spend my time doing. In that, my faith is important to me and helps me better understand my own values and what I do. Now, one of the unique things about if you were to go online and do the whole assessment yourself, you get this big printout thing. And one of the things that it does is it can combine your different strengths and tell you what makes the strengths combined unique. So for me, my strength of belief and empathy together means people tend to know what I stand for. So there's not a whole lot of question about what Stephanie thinks, feels, and believes. I tend to be, what you see is what you get. Positivity is my second strength or talent. So sometimes folks who have this strength, they don't like to make a lot of waves. As an advocate, sometimes that's hard because sometimes advocacy requires making a tidal wave, which is a big wave, right? Because that's just part of advocacy. But initially, when I was younger growing up, I didn't like to make a lot of waves. I like to keep most people happy, and I still typically do. I don't like a lot of conflict, and I like everyone to be able to get along. I also am someone who tends to see, some of you have glasses of water in front of you, and if I looked at the glass, I would say that glass is half full. I wouldn't say, oh, it's missing water. I would look at what it does have. So that's positivity. I like to be optimistic and think about the good things in the future. And I tend to not dwell on the negative things or bad things that have happened in the past. With my positivity and developer strength combined, I tend to focus on growth within myself and growth in other people. My developer strength means I am a people person. So one of the stories that my family, my parents, remind me of when I was very young, so young that I don't quite remember, so I have to rely on their story, is when I was little, I used to go out to some special doctors on the other side of the United States. And as a kid, I would just talk to pretty much anybody in the same space as me. And one time, my chatty self made really good friends with a woman named Angela. And Angela was there seeing her doctors, and I was seeing my doctors. And I got so chatty that Angela became such good friends with my family that she visited my family every single year. So even at a young age, I was making friends. And I still do. I'm that person who, hey, you look like you're bored or you don't know what to do. I'll come over and strike up a conversation with you. In fact, a few weeks ago, I was meeting someone for the first time who was going to help drive my accessible van because I don't drive. What we thought was going to be just a quick, hey, how are you? Here's my van. Here's what I need help with. She ended up staying for 2 hours. So that's how chatty I can be and how much I also like to listen to other people. My fourth strength is harmony. So I try to honor everybody's point of view, everyone else's values, and I try to find balance. We live in a world where not everybody gets along, and that's okay. But what we can do as humans is try to listen to somebody else and hear what their perspective, their point of view is. And that's something I try to do with everybody. I also tend to be very straightforward. So I know when to have fun and be goofy, but I also like to get down to business and focus on what needs to be done. When my harmony and empathy are combined, it means I'm pretty comfortable with emotions. So that makes a lot of sense because as a therapist, I work with people's emotions. And sometimes people have really big emotions. So we have to figure that out, how to make them more comfortable. I also really like groups. So for me, it's fun being in a place like this where we're all together. And my fifth top 5 strength is empathy. I tend to be able to tune into other people's moods and often have been told that I am a fairly good listener and that I'm someone easy to talk to. And as I mentioned earlier, I loved to talk from an early age. In fact, my nickname, so I've been told, was Motor Mouth, meaning I just talked a lot. When my empathy and developer strengths combine, it means I like to help other people express their feelings and achieve their potential. So I like to see other people do well. That's what makes me happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, for sharing your story and explaining how your strengths kind of build and mold you. I think it's really helpful for people to be able to, put it into their world. So over the next couple of slides, we're going to talk about how you can use your talents with those around you. So please take a moment to find My Support Network handout in your folder. It's going to look like this one above. Yep. So as you're finding that, My Support Network, a lot of people tend to know that as the circle of supports. That's the people that are around you, that you find yourself wanting to be around. They're dependable, they're trustworthy, they're supportive to your goals and your missions, right? The outermost circle helps you identify the individuals that you go to on a regular basis. The innermost, so that middle piece, is all about you, right? So when we're looking at the support of circles, it's all about you. In the circles, you may have 1, or you may have 10. there's no limit to how many people are in your circle. Being able to identify your circle helps you master your own talents to lead your table, right? So what we're all here to talk about today. On this handout, we'd like you to list out some names of everyone in your circle that falls within each category. So it's me at the beginning, and then it goes to family. So list out some family members. Then the next one is your friends. What friends are dependable and trustworthy to you? The next one is community. And so community examples would be like church groups or your neighbors, different support groups that you are a part of. That one would probably be more of that local global aspect. So or like your hairdresser, right? Somebody that you're just going to talk to within your community. That local, global, that last part of the circle, that's gonna be more of those professionals. So like you mentioned, the job coach or a care manager, a therapist, a doctor, or maybe even a teacher. So if you can take a few minutes to look at that and fill out that piece, that would be really great. If you need any assistance, we can be walking around. Absolutely, yep. So if anyone needs help, please let us know and we're happy to help you with filling out your circle.
Awesome. Did everyone have a chance to write down some people in their support network? All right. Then we have another activity that we're going to do. So now that you've identified the people in your circle of support, let's take a moment to identify their talents so you and those in your circle of support can best work together. You're probably wondering why there's different color markers and writing utensils on your table. That's for this next activity. So for this activity to start, please take the purple marker and circle the person or persons who help you make decisions or help you plan. You might have to share a few markers. We tried to get as many as we could, but if you want to take a minute and just take and circle those who help you make your decisions. These are your executors. If executor is a lower talent for you, these people can help support you in this area. For example, if you are struggling and need to get something done, these are the people that you can go to help you get things done. Now, please take out the orange marker. There's not too many orange markers on the table, so these we might have to share. And with these orange markers, please circle the people who are not afraid to speak up. They're not afraid to speak out. They could also be the ones who take charge. These are your influencers. If influencer is a lower talent for you, these people can help support you in this area. For example, if you need an advocate, or if you are doubting yourself, these are the people you can go to help you influence and help your decisions. Now please take a blue marker and circle the people who are easiest to talk to, or those who can lend a listening ear. These are the people that you go to for support. They are your relationship builders. If relationship building is a lower talent for you, these people can support you in this area. For example, if you need a friend or family member to talk to, if you're struggling and just need someone to talk to or listen to you, these are the individuals or the people that you can go to in this area. Last but not least, please take out the green marker. These are the people that can help you with your goals. They might gather information for you, ask questions that you might not think of. They are your strategic thinkers. If strategic thinking is a lower talent for you, these are the individuals that can support you in that area. For example, if you need to create a goal, stay on track, these are the individuals that can help you with these goals. So now that you've identified your circle of supports talents, you can work with them in the areas that you've identified as your lowest talents. Some of those in your circle of support can help you in more than one area. For example, if you are a strategic thinker, you could have a friend who is high in relationship building and also be an advocate for you. Now Stephanie will share her story and provide additional examples about how she uses her circle of supports talents to complement hers. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. So, my three least talents, or three things that I am the least strongest in, are discipline, self-assurance, and competition. And the reason I'm saying that is because knowing the areas that I am not super strong in means when I think about the people who are part of my circles of support, I can rely on them to help me in the areas that I'm not so strong in. In general, my circle of support has changed over the years. So we would have to go back to 1987, 37 years ago. And the picture in the middle that is in black and white color is a picture of me as a young girl sitting on my mom's lap. So 37 years ago, I probably maybe, 2 years old, maybe in that picture. But if we go back even before that picture was taken, 37 years ago, when I was born, my parents were told that my disability was so severe that they should just take me home, make sure I feel comfortable as a baby, and that I probably wasn't going to live. Well, thankfully, the doctors didn't know everything, and I'm still kicking 37 years later. Aw, thanks, y'all. So, as much as I might want to think, oh, I've just been able to do it all by myself, I'd be lying, because that's not true. Nobody can do everything all by themselves. So one of my favorite words is interdependence. So when I was younger, it was all about independence. And that's a good thing. However, it also sometimes doesn't work for everybody. And independence looks different. So I like interdependence because nobody, whether you have a disability or not, nobody can get through life without other people. So why don't we just say we're interdependent? Now, my circle of support over the years, as I may have said, has changed. Whether that's been through friendships that have changed, caregivers that have changed, but there are some people who have never changed, and those are my constant people. And those people are my mom, my dad, and my sister. They have always been a part of my circle of support. So my sister, if you're looking at the screen, is in the bottom left-hand side. That's me and my sister. She has always been a part of my support team. In fact, I'm lucky to have her here with me today. Also a part of my Also, always a part of my support team and my circle of support have been my parents. So on the bottom right picture is me, my mom, and my dad, and mom is here. And while they haven't been a part of my support circle for a very long time, and their support is going to continue to grow as they get older, the two younger ones in the yellow shirt are my two nieces. They are proof that whoever is a part of your circle of support, they don't have to be a certain age. It doesn't have to be a grown-up. It can be some of the youngest people because they support me by helping me find a sense of purpose and making me smile. And the fact that they love me, all they know is me as their in a wheelchair. And to know that we start out loving everybody just as we are is absolutely wonderful. And when I think about how I want to leave the world, I want the world to be better for them. And that if they acquire a disability, that I want the world to be a little bit gentler, kinder, and easier for them. Because that's really what it's about. Now, I also have some pretty rock star friends. Two of them are up on the picture on the upper left side with the sunflowers. But if I put a picture of all my friends, well, we would just have a lot of pictures and too many slides. So those are friends from high school who have stuck with me through all the years. One other person who has been a huge part of my circle of support is my grandma. She's on the upper right side. So grandma, I would say, is the one person who really developed my strength of belief. Grandma gave me and helped foster the set of values that I live by. And she helped develop a sense of positivity and belief that the doctors didn't know everything. Now, the one person that, when we think about who do you go to when you need help making decisions, who do you go to help you speak up or speak up on your behalf, who's the easiest person to talk to, and who's someone that helps you with your goals. For me, that's my mom. She fits all of those things for me. And even at 37, I still need my mom. Now, thankfully, my mom got me started off at a young age at learning how to speak up for myself, understanding what I need, what I don't need, and that has definitely helped me get as far as I have in life. And even so, I still have times where I have to call my mom and say, Mom, I don't need you to solve this, I just need you to listen. And if you can find that person who maybe they can't solve something for you, but they can listen, that can help you or help you figure out the decision and what you need, because oftentimes we already know the answer. We just have to dig really deep inside. And sometimes we just have to talk it out. So the people that are a part of my circle are the people that help me figure it out. They help me remember what my top strengths are. And, well, sometimes they help me in the areas where it's not my strength. And that is good too. So it's hard to speak about oneself 37 years in this time, but what I want all of you to think about and to remember is that every day is an opportunity to use your strengths, and every day is an opportunity to grow. And I hope that at the end of this conference, when you head home on Wednesday, you feel like you found an opportunity to use one of your strengths, whether that's helping someone problem solve, whether that's making a new friend, or just listening to someone. We all have talents and strengths, and it's just a matter of being given the opportunity to use them.
Thanks, Stephanie. There's no way I'm going to top that. I started the presentation and now I'm going to end the presentation. So, any questions? And that's okay if you don't have any. It was a lot of information to absorb, but just know that should you leave here and think of a question, feel free to seek us out. So I'm Jamie. Our Lakeland booth is actually just right outside these doors. I would love for you to stop by, talk about this presentation. I would love to hear about you as a person, what your strengths are, how you use your strengths. Also, yes.
I really like the person's picture on the slide.
Thank you. Also, oh, yes, over here.
You guys be able to pick up peers and sing for accountants as well?
That is something definitely that we will consider as a managed care organization. Like I said earlier, we are going to be expanding a little bit southern, but we are always looking for different opportunities within Wisconsin to float on over to other counties. So potentially in the future, you could see us there. Absolutely, yes. So again, you can find me at Lakeland's booth. Otherwise, Dana and Andrea, they're attending the conference. You may see them in some of the other breakout sessions. Feel free to stop by, chat them up. Again, we would love to hear about you and your strengths. And then if you leave the conference and you're like, shoot, now I have a question. This slide has our contact information, and we welcome that. So the top arrow is if you have any questions about the presentation, we have a self-direct support specialist email at Lakeland Care. That email goes directly to myself, to Dana, and to Andrea. Please feel free to email us with any questions you have. At Lakeland Care, again, we provide family care services, but within family care, there is an option to self-direct. So if you have any questions about Lakeland as an organization or our self-directed support option, we have a general info box at Lakeland that you can email. And then if you walk away from this presentation and you're like, wow, I really want to learn more about strengths or any other areas of opportunity, of improvement, at Lakeland Care, we have a partner organization called Lakeland Care Plus, and they provide similar trainings like this one, whether individually as like a group of people, or if you're here as a provider, another organization, feel free to reach out to our Lakeland Care consulting email, and they would gladly set up some trainings. And then, of course, we've been talking about this Gallup Clifton Strengths Assessment. So following this, if you would like to take the assessment to unlock all of your top talents and strengths and get to learn a little bit more in depth than what we talked about, the Gallup web address is up there for you to go to in order to take that. So on behalf of all of us, thank you very much for attending our presentation and enjoy the rest of your conference. Also, if you need CEUs, there is a QR code on the tables that you can scan, in order to obtain those credits. And there's also surveys that you were handed when you walked in. Please, please, please fill out the survey. We always welcome any feedback.